The 2026 NBA trade deadline is officially over, and it's probably one of the most random NBA trade deadlines we've ever seen. We're going to be going over every single trade, grading it, seeing how good it is for each team and how it affects the league moving forward. Let's get started. Starting with the first trade that basically happened around the deadline was DeAndre Hunter from the Cavs for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis on the Kings. Now, if I'm going to keep it 100% a stack, DeAndre Hunter going to the Kings really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they already have DeMar DeRozan. I don't know if they're going to be trying to move off him, but DeAndre Hunter is one of those pieces that you kind of see on championship caliber teams, a good 3-and-D wing. He can start or come off the bench, so him going to the Kings doesn't really make a lot of sense here. I really do like the move for the Cavs, though, getting Schroeder and Keon Ellis. Losing DeAndre Hunter does kind of hurt them, but getting that guard depth is really helpful, especially with all of the injuries that they had to Darius Garland. And so with this move for the Cavs, I do like it. I don't think it moves the needle really that much, but it is a decent move for the Cavs. And if you look back, DeAndre Hunter was only averaging 31% from three and 42% from the field. These are both down year numbers for him, and the Cavs are, I guess, just ready to move off of him and get some better depth pieces. So yeah, I'm going to say this is a win for the Cavs here and maybe a loss for the Kings. Now, the next move we are going to talk about is Vit Krejci to the Trailblazers for Duop Reith and some second-round picks. Let's dive in. Now, this move is absolutely amazing for the Blazers. Krejci is a 41% three-point shooter, and the Blazers are the worst three-point shooting team in the league. So they're adding a real shooter on the roster. And Duop Reith was the third or fourth center on the Blazers depth chart anyway. They had Klingon, Robert Williams, and then it was between him and Jan Hansen for that third spot, but it really went either way. And they traded him and some second-round picks, and he's also out for the season with an injury anyway. So the Blazers really gave up absolutely nothing to get Krejci. And the Hawks legend Duop Reith is also planning on getting waived by the organization, which doesn't really make sense. I don't know why the Hawks would do this trade. They're trading Krejci for Duop Reith and some second-round picks, and then they're just waiving Duop Reith. So they're basically just selling Krejci for nothing, I guess. I mean, maybe some second-round picks, but that's this trade, a win for the Trailblazers, and I would say a loss for the Hawks here. Now, the next trade is the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, which is one of the trades that make this deadline a weird deadline, whack random deadline, but Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to the Jazz. And the Grizzlies also gave up Vince Williams Jr., which I think is one of the more underrated pieces that the Jazz are actually getting from this trade. He's a very solid NBA player. Now, the Jazz give up Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, and Taylor Hendricks, and George Niang. Those players aren't really the headlines. Obviously, Walter Clayton Jr. is someone that can maybe be good one day. Taylor Hendricks, also a good wing, and then the vets. But the three future first-round picks is really what is big for the Grizzlies here. Because if you guys remember, they got 4 first-round picks for the Desmond Bane trade. So now that's 7 first-round picks that the Grizzlies have, and now they are retooling up for a rebuild. They still have Ja Morant on the team, but he's probably going to get moved in the offseason. So, yeah, the Grizzlies are looking at a full rebuild here, and they have the picks to do it. And I absolutely love this trade for the Jazz. They already have a solid core in Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, Ace Bailey, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, Walker Kessler. They have a great core. Now they're adding Jaren Jackson Jr. to the squad. This team is only getting better. They're already showing flashes right now. Keontae George is a borderline all-star. Lauri Markkanen's a borderline all-star. Ace Bailey's a promising rookie. And adding Jaren Jackson Jr. as a defensive player of the year player, all-star level player to this team, I think in a couple of years, this team could be a perennial playoff team with Jaren Jackson Jr. on the team. I love this trade for the Jazz. Now, the next trade is the Jaden Ivey trade, which sucks because I am a huge Jaden Ivey fan and I loved him on the Pistons, but he's getting a new chapter with the Bulls and all of their guards that they have. But let's go and dive into this trade. The Bulls get Jaden Ivey, the young prospect out of Purdue, and he was proven in his first couple of years, but why did you have to wear number 31, Jaden Ivey? You're way better than that. Number 31? Where what? And the Pistons get butter baby, if you know, you know, Kevin Huerter, who is a shooter, just spot-up shooter for Cade, another wing, like Duncan Robinson, like they have. And, you know, this is helpful for the team, but it really sucks. I really liked that Cade and Jaden Ivey backcourt, but Jaden Ivey, I guess, was kind of having a down year, even though he's coming off an injury. He's only averaging 8 points per game, but the efficiency is still good and only 17 minutes per game. I mean, I don't know why they gave up on him. Just look at what he was averaging the last couple of years here. You can see he's averaging 17 points on 46-40. I mean, he was amazing for them last year, and I know he got hurt, but like, Oh, dude, it just sucks to see him go away from the Pistons, the team that drafted him. But I guess they wanted to move on from him and bring in someone that, isn't as ball dominant in Kevin Huerter. And the Timberwolves were also involved in this trade, as the Bulls would receive Mike Conley, but he would quickly go away from that. And the Timberwolves received nothing back, and a lot of people saw that they could have gotten Coby White, but they elected to not take on Coby White to leave room for Giannis, which obviously there's a bunch of Giannis rumors that we're not really going to talk about because you guys, I'm sure, have heard all about it. But yeah, the Wolves are trying to clear room for Giannis, and it not going to work out. And so the Bulls get another guard in Anthony Simons. What are they building in there? But the Celtics get Nikola Vucevic, which is an amazing pickup for them. Obviously, losing Porzingis last year, having weird center lineups with Queta and Garza. Vucevic is an insane, amazing pickup for the Celtics here. Just look at their projected starting lineup after the Vucevic trade. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. We all know what these four can bring to the table. Now adding Nikola Vucevic to the mix, a shooting stretch big that's been an all-star before. We all saw what this core did with Kristaps Porzingis at center. Nikola Vucevic is arguably better than Porzingis, not just ability-wise, but availability-wise. And with the Bulls, I mean, why are you trading for all these guards? Like, what are you doing with it? Why do you need Anthony Simons? You have all these guards now. What are you doing with all these guards? Now, the next trade we're going to be talking about is the Harden-Garland trade. This one low-key came out of nowhere. Harden randomly said that he was going to get traded. Are we surprised? Not really, but kind of. And the Cavs came in early as a suitor, and Darius Garland was looked at as the guy that was going to get swapped. And I actually really like this for the Clippers because we all know they don't have any of their picks. And Harden was aging. He's 35 years old. Kawhi's getting up there in age too. And you're going to bring in a young guy that's been an all-star before in Darius Garland, who's been proven. He can play great point guard minutes. He's shifty. He's tough. And you're bringing in a younger guy to be kind of that key piece of the Clippers team, which I like. I like this for the Clippers. Now for the Cavs, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You're bringing in Harden, and I guess it increases your championship odds. Like Harden and Donovan Mitchell could be tough with Mobley and Allen, but I mean, does this really move the needle for us NBA fans? Like, I don't know, not really. I don't really see the Cavs like all of a sudden jumping to a title contending team because they have Harden instead of Darius Garland, right? So I guess for the Cavs, it makes them a little bit better now, but in a couple of years, I think this is going to hurt because you would want Garland still on the team, and Donovan Mitchell might not even re-sign it in Cleveland next year, so you're kind of in a sticky situation, and if they're not going to win a chip, so I don't really like this one for the Cavs. What the hell? I was not expecting this. The Wizards trade for Anthony Davis, and the Wizards also get D'Angelo Russell and Dante Exum. And this is the Wizards lineup looking like with AD. And honestly, it's kind of tough. Keyshawn George is great. Trey Johnson's been an amazing rookie. And Alex Sarr has shown hella flashes. Now you add Young and AD into the mix. Okay, I'm kind of seeing the vision here in Washington. Dallas Mavericks don't really get anything too eye-opening back. Yeah, they get AJ Johnson, who's a good young player, Chris Middleton for salary reasons, but the first-round picks they get, I think, are really good. It's going to end up helping out Cooper Flagg because he's only 19 years old. He's already playing amazing. He's already proven in this league, and he just dropped 49 points, basically 50 bomb if Caleb Martin didn't go for the poster, but Cooper Flagg getting these two picks on his team along with AJ Johnson and maybe a little mentorship in Chris Middleton. I actually like this for the Mavs. They offload AD. They don't got to worry about him anymore. So I think this is just a win-win trade overall for the Mavs and the Wizards. The next trade is Jared McCain to the Thunder for a first-round pick and 3 second-round picks from the 76ers. One of the best trades, I think, overall for the Thunder because they add Jared McCain, a shooting guard who can run around there. We all knew what he was doing in his rookie season before he got hurt. He was averaging like 20. He was going to win Rookie of the Year, and the Thunder basically just get him for free. And the 76ers do look bad in this trade, but if you really look at it, they got VJ Edgecombe coming in, who's better than Jared McCain, just straight up, and he's taking his minutes. You have Tyrese Maxey already, and then now you have VJ Edgecombe. That's your backcourt. Yes, Jared McCain can be a good off-the-bench piece, but now they get a first-round pick for him. They're selling his value, and they can use this first-round pick to trade for maybe more help with Edgecombe, Maxey, and Embiid, and obviously Paul George. So they can use that pick and maybe reallocate it somewhere else to get another player. So this isn't terrible for the 76ers, but it's definitely a win for the Thunder. Now the next trade is the Coby White to the Hornets trade, which we kind of expected Coby White to go to the Timberwolves, but now he's pivoting and going to the Hornets, and the Bulls get back Colin Sexton, another guard for the Bulls. Coby White joins the Hornets, who are cooking right now. The Hornets are one of the best teams in the league. They're on an insane winning streak. And so this is a good trade for the Hornets, in my opinion. They give up Colin Sexton, but they get back a better player in Coby White anyway. So I like this trade for the Hornets. As far as the Bulls go, I guess they're just going for an all-out rebuild here. They're bringing in Colin Sexton. Coby White gets shipped out. So it's really interesting what's going on in Chicago. But for the Hornets, I love this trade. I guess we all thought Chris Paul got waived, but the Clippers just traded him to the Raptors. And the Nets get Ochai Agbaji, and the Clippers get rights to this player here. So honestly, this is kind of just like a whatever trade, but obviously it happened at the deadline, so we're throwing it in here, and you guys can take a look and see that Ochai Agbaji, a good player on the Raptors, is now on the Nets. And yes, this is a big headline because the name is Lonzo Ball, but let's be honest, Lonzo is not really like an amazing player or anything. He's great, he's good, but he's not an amazing player. But yes, he gets traded from the Cavs for a couple second-round picks. Obviously, bringing in Schroeder and Keon Ellis, they don't need all that guard depth unless you're in Chicago, which they would love that guard depth. But he would get traded to the Jazz and then get waived. So this is another just small little move that happened. Jock Landale to the Hawks for cash considerations. Tyus Jones to the Hornets for cash considerations. I love Tyus Jones. I have to throw that. Okay, back to the blockbuster trades. Jonathan Kuminga finally gets traded from the Warriors. Wow, and honestly, this makes absolutely no sense to me. You just had one of your forwards go down in Jimmy Butler for the rest of the season, maybe the rest of his career, and you're going to trade the guy who's next up for Porzingis, which you already have an old center big in Al Horford, and now you have another injury-prone one in Porzingis. Doesn't really make a lot of sense why you're pushing for anything here. You didn't get Giannis, so you pivot to Porzingis. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. They should have just kept Kuminga. I absolutely hate this trade for the Warriors, but I love it for the Hawks. They get Kuminga, who knows? Maybe he can blossom into what he's supposed to blossom into here in Atlanta. And now that the Warriors have another big, they trade Trace Jackson Davis for some second-round picks to Toronto to, I guess, clear some space for Porzingis. And now Gershon Yabusele is traded to the Bulls, and Dalen Terry is traded to the Knicks. I guess the Bulls are now kind of working on that guard situation. They're getting a forward in Yabusele who didn't really play a lot with the Knicks, and so maybe he gets a better opportunity here with the Bulls, maybe. And the Bulls, again, working on that guard problem, and they're going to trade Ayo Dosunmu and Julian Phillips to the Timberwolves. Love this trade for the Timberwolves. They're bringing in another athletic flying defender in Ayo Dosunmu. He perfectly fits with this Timberwolves team. He's going to be great next to Anthony Edwards, and the Bulls get Rob Dillingham, a nice young prospect, but another guard. But, I mean, he's young. He's a project. They can build him into what they want. Maybe they can sell high on a value next year. So yeah, this trade grader thing gives them and yeah, I would agree. I would say maybe a B for the Bulls, but definitely an A for the Timberwolves. La GM is at it again. Gabe Vincey is traded to the Hawks, and LeBron was telling us all that this would happen just a couple games ago. If you guys remember this clip right here. We all should have seen this coming. And the Lakers get Luke Kennard out of this deal. I kind of like this for the Lakers. He's a three-point shooter. The defense isn't that good. That's the only thing. I made a whole video talking about how Luka needs 3-and-D wings around him. Luke Kennard is a lot of 3 and not a lot of D, but it's a step in the right direction, I guess, getting rid of Gabe Vincent, who was not helpful to the team around Luka. He's just not. Small little trade, but worth noting. Nick Richards and Cole Anthony get swapped for each other. A little Bucks-Suns 2021 Finals. Little swap here. I think this is beneficial to both teams. So, yeah, I like this. The Suns have a good center core, so they don't really need Nick Richards there. He doesn't really even play. And Cole Anthony can, I guess, give them some guard help with Devin Booker out. So, yeah, I like this trade for both teams. With Nikola Vucevic coming in, the Celtics needed to open some roster area in the front court for Nikola Vucevic, so they're going to trade Chris Boucher. Now, one less center in the rotation, one less center to worry about. Good trade here for both spots. Just kind of get off Chris Boucher and open a roster spot, and then the Jazz can also get someone like Chris Boucher who knows he could be helpful. He's a good NBA player, so yeah. One of the surprises here, another one, Jose Alvarado gets traded from the Pelicans for Dalen Terry, who just got traded to the Knicks. Jose Alvarado to the Knicks, and if you know anything about the NBA, you know Jose Alvarado is a high-energy, good defensive player, and he can shoot threes, and he's coming to the Knicks. This is a great backup guy to have behind Brunson and McBride, and I love this deal for the Knicks. For the Pelicans, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe Alvarado wanted out or something, but Dalen Terry is still a decent NBA player, but love this one for the Knicks. Give them an A+. The Nets, being the dumpster of the NBA, get some players and other teams get to clear their cap. Eric Gordon is heading to the Grizzlies, and the 76ers are clearing a roster spot to sign this guy, Dominic Barlow, convert him from a two-way. He's been cooking, so this is why they did this trade. If you were wondering why they did it, it's to sign this guy to an actual contract. What? Ivica Zubac traded to the Pacers for Benny Matthew and Isaiah Jackson and 2 first-round picks. I am another huge Ben Mathurin fan. I really just like everybody from the 2022 draft class, and seeing Ben Mathurin go to the Clippers, I mean, I don't hate it, but Zubac going to the Pacers, ever since they lost Miles Turner, they've been having kind of a center problem. Obviously, Jay Huff has been good, but they need somebody a little bit better than that, and I am super excited to see Zubac and Tyrese Halliburton next year. I think this is an amazing trade for the Pacers. For the Clippers, I don't hate it. You get Ben Mathurin back, and I love Ben Mathurin. So I would say this is an A for the Pacers and like a B, maybe B+ for the Clippers. But that ends the NBA trade deadline. Yes, there was a couple other deals, but they were really small, and I've already added a bunch of those. So just wanted to end this video here. And yes, I took a week off, guys. I was really busy, but now I am back, and I'm making videos consistently again. I have another Files video coming out soon. Thank you all for 2K subscribers. 10K road coming soon. Love you all. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. Comment GOAT if you made it this far.